Let me ask you a question. Have you been scrolling lately and just get this weird feeling? This little sense of unease that something is just off?
Well, if you have, you are definitely not alone. And today, we're going to dig into a pretty wild and honestly kind of unsettling idea that gives that feeling a name: the dead internet theory.
You've probably seen what I'm talking about. These bizarre AI-generated pictures of, like, shrimp Jesus all over Facebook with thousands of comments that just say, Amen. Or you see the same exact tweet for the 10th time. I hate texting, I just want to hold your hand, posted by tons of different accounts. It makes you kind of stop and go, wait, who is actually liking this? Is anyone real here?
Yeah, that feeling that you're walking through a digital ghost town, One that's full of echoes and bots instead of real people and real voices. Well, that's a shared experience, and it is the absolute core of a theory that has been picking up some serious steam.
So, what is the dead internet theory exactly? Let's break it down.
At its heart, the theory basically says that the internet that you and I grew up with, the one that felt authentic and human-driven, is pretty much gone. And what's replaced it is this synthetic world, totally filled with bots, AI-generated stuff, and curated by algorithms, where real human interaction is now the minority. And how this theory came about is actually super interesting. It started out in these really niche corners of the web, like 4chan, but it got its official name in a 2021 forum post. It hit the mainstream a little bit later that year, but then, and this is the key part, when ChatGPT was released in late 2022, the theory suddenly stopped feeling like some fringe idea and started to feel, well, a little prophetic.
And you gotta understand, the origins of this thing are extreme. The first post wasn't just about bots trying to sell you stuff. No, it was a full-blown conspiracy theory, claiming that this was all a coordinated government plot to control everyone on Earth using AI. I mean, it's a pretty wild claim.
And that brings us to the most important part, separating that paranoid fantasy from what's actually happening. So let's draw a line between the conspiracy and the reality we can actually see.
So no surprise here. Experts look at the whole secret government AI plot and they pretty much dismiss it as exactly that, a paranoid fantasy. There's just no evidence of some big coordinated conspiracy. But, and this is a really big but, that's not the whole story. Because while the who in the conspiracy might be wrong, the what is terrifyingly on point. A report from 2023 found that nearly half, 49.6%, of all internet traffic was from bots, not people. So for almost every single human click, there was a bot right there, crawling, scraping, or spamming alongside it. And this is really where you see the difference, right? The theory claims it's a secret government AI plot. The reality is that bot traffic is neck and neck with human traffic. The theory claims most users are fake. The reality is that AI content is exploding everywhere. And the reason for all this? It's not some shadowy cabal, it's much simpler, it's just corporate incentives to get more clicks and sell more ads.
And all of this has led to a phenomenon with a very colorful name: AI slop.
And the evidence is it's everywhere. You've got the whole shrimp Jesus thing on Facebook. You've got those bot farms on X just tweeting the same bland phrases over and over. Even Google has admitted that its search results are getting clogged with websites that were clearly made for search engines, not for people. And on YouTube, there's a real fear among engineers about something they call the inversion, a tipping point where there are so many fake views that the algorithm can't even tell what's real anymore.
And the thing is, the impact of all this AI slop might be the most serious for the youngest generation. I mean, for kids growing up today, Gen Alpha, this synthetic internet isn't some new change. It's the only internet they've ever known. And it's leading to what some are calling brain rot.
This quote from a babysitter is it's so perfect and so telling. She was talking about how these two little boys got totally hooked on a diet of these weird, algorithm-generated videos like Skibbity Toilet, and it just turned them into overstimulated, chaotic gremlins. It's a pretty powerful real-world peek at how this stuff can actually affect behavior.
So where is all this going? What are the bigger implications of an internet that's starting to feel more and more artificial? Okay, this prediction is absolutely staggering. Some experts are saying that by 2025, maybe 2030, as much as 99.9% of all content online could be AI-generated. Just let that sink in for a second. Finding something genuinely made by a human could become like looking for a needle in a gigantic digital haystack. So the internet isn't dead in the sense that it's turned off. You could actually argue it's just shrinking. That wild, open frontier of millions of individual websites and forums, it's been mostly replaced by just a few massive corporate-owned platforms.
And when you look at the data, you can see just how concentrated our online world has become. Almost all of our time is spent inside these walled gardens, platforms controlled by a handful of giants like Meta, Alphabet, and TikTok. The open web, the independent part, has become a tiny little slice of our digital lives. But here's the thing. People are adapting. As the big public squares of the internet start to feel fake, people are just leaving. They're trying out smaller, newer platforms, or, and this is happening a lot, they're retreating into what's called dark social. Think private spaces like Discord servers, group chats, DMs, places where you know the conversations are real because they're with people you actually know.
And that leaves us with this one final, massive question. The dead internet theory might be a conspiracy, but that dead internet feeling is very, very real. And as our world gets more and more saturated with synthetic sludge, it forces all of us to ask, what does it even mean for something to be authentic anymore? What is real, and how are we going to find it?